All right, there we go. Whew. Again, everybody, as you're rolling in, welcome. I would love for you in the chat to just tell us where are you teaching, and maybe where are you zooming in from today? Kind of let's roll that on down in their style. But where are you? Where are you coming from today across our wonderful Commonwealth? In the living room, I love it. Roanoke, Virginia Beach, Aldie, Prince William, Virginia Beach, Gloucester, Lancaster. Let's see, Halifax, Prince William, Wise, Accomack. This is awesome. Manassas Park. You and I could throw stones at each other. I'm just down off of Lake Jackson. Let's see, Virginia Beach, Chesterfield. Man, a lot of people coming in from the beach. Well done. Roanoke. Bird feeder. I love it. Hopefully there's some good ones out there. We had a little burst of flurries come through for a quick couple of minutes. The puppy thought it was very interesting. All right, so as everybody's coming in, again, good to have you with us today. My name is Josh Tom. I help work on the VSTE conference committee. Nikki Dowd is here with me today, is also our host, and Nikki is one of the chairs or on the board for VSTE itself, but we're going to be helping you out. As you come in, you'll notice that you're muted, and you cannot unmute yourself. So if you have something to say, again, we're going to do that hand raise and go. Man, we are up to 64, 60 something, some odd folks. And I think we're going to kick it here in just about 90 seconds. So, oh, and Rod's on the call with us too. Great, Rod. Glad that you're here. Seeing some of my Loudoun County peeps rolling in. So, as you all are getting in, we'd love to know where you're coming from and kind of where you teach. And sometimes that's in two very different positions. So, again, glad that you're here. Let's see, we have hit noon. So I will, let's see, we're admitting, we're up around 72. This is great. What a great turnout. And again, we are so thankful that you're here at this conference with us. We wish that we were all out together getting a little bit of candied bacon or seeing the amazing dolphins that are up hanging in all of our different locations and being physically together. But we are here Zooming together. One thing to note, you have been invited in different communications to join the Discord channels. Discord is a program that is made for communicating mostly while gaming, but it can facilitate an online community of people really quick. So it could be that you want to continue on conversations about our session after our session is over, and I would encourage you to do that inside of our Discord channel. We've named all the channels by our favorite rooms inside of the Hotel Roanoke, and so this room is Crystal A, and you can see that inside of your sketch. So I think that's enough of me talking. I am going to stop sharing my screen here, and I am going to introduce you to Meg Foley and Reggie Fox. They are both coming to us from the Virginia Department of Education, and Meg is the coordinator of virtual learning, and Reggie is a virtual learning specialist, and together they make up an amazing team that helps support our wonderful Commonwealth and the schools and the teachers and the students and the administrators that are all trying to make this thing work that we call education. So take it away, Meg and Reggie, and we are so glad that you are here. I'm going to stop sharing, and there we go.
Thank you so much for that. Reggie's going to start our presentation. And thank you so much for joining us at Virtual VSTE this year. Yes, we're certainly going to miss Hotel Roanoke, but we're so excited that you're able to join us from wherever you are. And so our session today is titled Focus on the Future with Virtual Learning. And we're really excited that you took the time out of your busy day and your lunch. And I hope you are having some lunch as you listen to our presentation. And our contact information is on the next slide, as you'll see. And so I'm Meg Foley, and as was stated, I'm the coordinator of virtual learning at the Department of Education. And then we have with me my colleague, Reggie Fox. Reggie.
Hello, everyone, and thank you again, as Meg stated, for being with us today. And we certainly appreciate your joining us for this update in virtual learning from the Virginia Department. Welcome.
Welcome, yes. And you'll see at the bottom left of that, right next to the image that we Reggie has added on our presentation slide, all our social media ways to get involved with us. And so we have posted the presentation, so those are there for you as well. And here's the grand purpose for our presentation today. First, we want to discuss practical elements that focus on the future of blended and virtual learning. We plan to offer helpful websites and resources. We're going to provide examples of virtual learning strategies, and we're going to determine additional support that maybe school divisions need in the area of virtual learning. So what's new with virtual learning? On this slide, I want to take you actually live out into the website so I can show you something. So Reggie, I'm going to share my screen on this. Okay, whoops. Let me go back. Here we go. And let me show you. So we wanted to show you kind of the pathway to get to our new teaching and learning hub. So this is just the main website, which is, as you can see up here, doe.virginia.gov. And if you're on the left-hand side, you see instruction. If you're to click on instruction, the third resource is called the Teaching and Learning Hub. And you can click on that. And this is our new exciting stuff that we have just built out within the last couple months. And we have huge plans. So this is not the end of it. This is just the beginning of it. There are three main areas in our hub, and you can see they're supporting virtual learning, planning for virtual teaching and learning, and professional learning. So let me go into the supporting of virtual learning so that you can see our website. And we're very happy that we have such a great webmaster who worked with us, because we wanted to design the site to be easily navigated, clean, and have some bright images on it. So you can see that with the supporting virtual teaching, that you have a great index that will allow you to jump to different sections on the page. These are all linked. Or if you prefer, I'm a scroller, I like to scroll. So you can actually just scroll down the page, and you can see how we tried to incorporate images with all this great tips and tricks and best practices that we have to share with you. So the second one, let me go into the second one, is planning for virtual teaching and learning. And again, we have the page contents there with links, and you can jump to anything that you're interested in, or you can again scroll to topics such as the virtual teaching and learning approaches, tips for teaching and learning online, instructional model and delivery planning. So there's just a wealth of information that we've tried to gather into one place for you. And so let me show you quickly the third one, which is our professional learning. And this one right now, we have three main areas of getting learners connected, of the Go Open VA, and of Virtual Virginia. So this is the one spot that we really have big plans to build out as we start to gather more and more resources for you. Our vision for the Teaching and Learning Hub under virtual learning was basically a one-stop shopping place where there are so many resources being shared, which is wonderful, but sometimes it can get a little overwhelming. Where's this, where's that? So we try to bring in a whole bunch of those resources and hone them in and just kind of corral them into this one space for you. All right, Reggie, I'm going to stop sharing. So if you want to go back to the PowerPoint when you can. There we are. So on this slide, what we wanted to highlight was that the DOE is dedicated to providing additional resources to both educators and parents and caregivers. So there are a lot of other resources beyond our Teaching and Learning Hub that, as I said, educators and families can take advantage of. This is one of the slides about Virtual Virginia. Virtual Virginia is the DOE's program, and they have really developed a huge amount of professional learning opportunities free for educators. And these are just a sample of some that they have made available. And Reggie has put the website on there for you. So it's in our PowerPoint. And the next slide shows one particular professional learning opportunity. And this one was due to a collaboration between Virtual Virginia and VSTE, and it's called Be a Champion. You have the website there, and what this is a way that you can take the environment that you're in, whether it be blended or virtual or remote, and then you can go through this self-directed, self-paced course, and then depending on what you pick, it's tailored, your adventure is tailored to that. And it aligns with the instructional model, supporting, again, blended, fully online, and hybrid environments, because we know that there's a multitude of divisions out there doing so many different environments right now. And it also will lend you a digital micro-credential for successful completion. So that's always fun to have as well. So on this slide, I want to illustrate that the U.S. Department of Education also recognizes the change in education that will most likely last well beyond this pandemic. I don't know that any of us think that after all this online and virtual learning, remote learning, that we're going to be able to go back to just brick and mortar, with virtual learning being something just on the side. I think everyone knows that it's probably, the public will probably demand that we continue with opportunities for learning and different choices. There'll be a huge resource in the times to come. And as the image illustrates, there are three main components of virtual learning, which include infrastructure, curriculum, and training. And throughout the presentation, we plan to be focusing on each of them. On this slide, it illustrates several important goals tied to virtual learning, be it blended or fully online. We know that it's paramount to ensure that we expand access to technology to aid in meeting the needs of all of our students. We must also reach out to potential partners to help fund those endeavors. You can see on the right-hand side of the slide a list of potential technologies highlighting, I think, the importance of collaboration and communication between information technology and instructional technology to aid educators and students to succeed virtually. And Reggie, I think I'm going to hand it over to you now so that you can continue into one of those buckets that I just mentioned.
All right, thank you so much. Let's see. Thank you, Meg. I think did we have anything in the chat? I think I saw something pop up in the chat. If not, we will certainly come back to those and allow questions at the end. But
yeah, I don't see anything, Reggie. I don't see anything yet that we need to answer. Thank you.
All right. And I just noted that Dr. Susan Clara is on the line, and participating in this session. And she was instrumental in creating that graphic that you saw with devices. And so if you need any information about connections, protocols, Dr. Susan Clare is in this session from the Virginia Department of Ed. So as we transition to virtual learning, and we know that training is one of the important components that you all are dealing with as well, because you're having to model and provide strategies and resources for teachers. So we just wanted to touch on that through the National Standards of Quality for Teaching. And so there are various areas: professional responsibilities, organization and management, communication, pedagogy, digital citizenship. And with the limited time that we have today, we won't be able to talk about all of those, but we certainly wanted to highlight some of those. And with regard to organization and management, we are just providing you some tips on the screen about structure and organization, copyright and fair use. Consider the cultural differences and pedagogy when you design courses and when you're teaching and dealing with students online. I know that many of you've probably heard the term now culturally responsive teaching, CRT. And so just be sure that you're aware and make that relevant to teachers and educators. The applications and resources that students are familiar with, and understanding the features of the learning management system and all of the various resources that you're using. And of course, we want to include all learners, those with disabilities, English language learners, as well as our gifted population. We do want to mention digital citizenship. Mark Saunders is also from the Virginia Department of Education, and he's doing a presentation in this VSTE conference on the digital technologies. And one of the things that's included in that is citizenship. So, of course, we want to always foster safety online with our students, appropriate communication. And one of the things that we encourage you to do is follow and really promote those division policies so that students, parents, educators understand what they can share and what is not shared. Copyright and fair use, we've mentioned positive behaviors and modeling that. And of course, we have to talk about privacy and not revealing personal information as with students. And so then when we shift and go and look at content and curriculum, one of the things we know that we've talked about is shifting, taking teachers and shifting them just using devices onto online platforms. But how do we keep students engaged and motivated? And one of the challenges could be motivation and keeping those students motivated. The components are easy as we transition. If you break that down for teachers to help them see that it's really about communication, engagement, and assessment, these are all good best practices in the classroom. But what we do on top of that with online learning is we promote asynchronous and synchronous learning. So we want to share one of the resources from Dr. John Spencer with you, a short video.
We live in an era of constant digital communication. With the tap of a button, we can share insights and collaborate with people all over the world. But there's a cost. We can easily get distracted and lose our focus. This is why quality communication requires intentionality, and it helps to think about the distinction between synchronous and asynchronous communication tools. Synchronous communication happens in real time, in the moment. By contrast, asynchronous communication can happen over a longer period of time. Synchronous communication might be a video conference, a live chat, or a phone call. Asynchronous communication might be a pre-recorded video, an audio message, or an email. Both synchronous and asynchronous communication have their distinct advantages and disadvantages. Synchronous communication is faster and more dynamic. It's great for active participation in interactive discussions. It tends to work well with smaller groups, but it can lead to frequent interruptions and distractions that get in the way of deep work. With asynchronous communication, there's no need to schedule, which means you can go at your own pace with fewer disruptions. Asynchronous communication works well when the internet connection is unstable or when participants are in different time zones. It also tends to allow for a permanent record of your communication. However, asynchronous communication doesn't work well when you need to address issues in the moment, and it can feel less interactive. Some communication platforms blend together synchronous and asynchronous components. A walkie-talkie app lets you communicate in the moment, but listen later and even adjust the speed. A shared document has real-time edits, but the comments are asynchronous and there is a permanent record of all annotations. Video chats can occur in real time, but then recorded for replay later on. This can help increase accessibility. Meanwhile, social media platforms often blend together live and recorded videos, chats, and updates. Both synchronous and asynchronous communication are necessary for collaborative work. This is why teams should think strategically about when to use both types of communication as they plan for collaborative projects. And educators should be intentional about how they use both approaches to improve student collaboration as well.
So you can see Dr. John Spencer has a clever way of animating and giving a very positive message about and tips and resources. So if you want to check out his work, please do. He's given us some things about communication, expectations, communicating regularly and keeping it simple and concise, and fostering those relationships online. One of the things that I hear is about our human connection and students being challenged because they're online, but you can build this community of learners with a positive tone and celebrating success and drawing students in and encouraging them and motivating them. John Spencer again puts it this way, where students are moving from compliance, just doing what they're supposed to do online, to engagement, but finally to empowerment, where they are taking advantage of their own learning and successfully moving through all of the online material that is being provided for them. Some of the tips that we talk about are often on the left side. We know that we can take classroom teachers and we have Word documents and PowerPoints and internet, those things. But oftentimes on the right side of the screen, we want to move to where students can hopefully be motivated by doing more creative things in the classroom and mastering that content through the use of cartoons and screenshots and audio and video, podcasts, interviews. These things are very powerful, and the use of social media as it can be used based on the age, of course, because we do have students in K-12. So the teachers can promote and use many different types of engaging activities and best practices. Remember to personalize learning and use choice boards and give students choice. Pre-recorded lessons are a great way to save time so that everything doesn't have to be live. When a teacher actually has them captive, students captive, they should be actually investigating what students are understanding and not understanding and helping them, and paying attention to personalizing that online for students. And one of the samples on the left are two young ladies who actually took it upon themselves to use reading as a way to help younger students, and they're middle school students. So they used this reading site that they created to talk about different authors and illustrators, and even reading and teaching. They were actually teaching the students. So this helps out certainly Element. It's a great project for the middle school students to connect with elementary students and help the teacher as well with reading selections. Of course, we want to give timely feedback and assess in different ways so that we can continue to keep students motivated and they will understand how they're doing in the class. So those were some tips that we had for you today, and we certainly want to focus on involving you in this this presentation, and want to really have a conversation about what you're engaged in and what challenges you have or policies. And then we do have, we want to put this, I'm going to ask Meg to put this survey link. We do have a survey, it's 2 questions. If you don't mind answering for us, we would like for you to go to SurveyMonkey and just answer those questions. And you don't have to do that right now, but please take a moment to take that survey link so that we can have some feedback and understand how we can help you at the Department of Education with regard to virtual learning, blended models, and hybrid. And I did earlier when I said I had a message, it was actually a message to me, the link to the slide set in the chat. I think that our presentation has been posted online in Sched, so that I know that we uploaded it. So you do have a copy of our presentation there. So Meg, do you have, thank you. And so we want to give you a moment to tell us about any challenges or successes that you have with various models of blended or virtual learning.
Folks, to do that, if you'd like to come off mute, I know it's a large crowd, but we would love to hear from you. We have some time. You can raise your hand and Nikki and I can help make that happen. Or please tell us in the chat, tell us some of those things. We love to celebrate with you.
For some students, simple is better. That's right. John Spencer has a video, you might want to check it out. I was reflecting, teachers have done a great job building relationships. Check out that video that John Spencer put together. He really acknowledged teachers and the work that they've done. And so do we. We thank you all, educators across the state, the Commonwealth, for doing a great job in transitioning students online this year. We understand the challenges you face and the various models of hybrid and virtual learning. But we do want to be able to support you. And Meg alluded to that personal learning network that we, professional learning network that we are trying to build out. We know that many of you have avenues for communication, but please let us know if, how we can build that out and connect all educators. Teachers, especially, Canvas is up and running for teachers with something to celebrate. Teachers with tech phobia have been forced to pivot, and in this regard, for us in virtual learning, it's a great thing. It's a positive thing. So we want to all support teachers at all levels.
I have to say, at the Department of Education, that it was interesting. So many of us were unsure who outside of technology virtual learning group at the DOE, how they were going to fare when we went full-time telework. And so I have to say that people have risen to the occasion, just as the educators out in the field, that truly the people of the Department of Education are so dedicated to helping educators and their students to succeed, that we've been just so pleased with the work that everyone has put into continuing difficult work, but in a remote setting. So we're right with you, and right with the teachers out in the field, working very hard.
And again, thank you, Meg. We understand teachers are overwhelmed. We're all overwhelmed at this point with trying to support and make change happen. But again, someone wrote, when you make your classroom more of a group effort to learn, it changes their perception of school. So we can take negatives and make them positive, and turn things around for those who are overwhelmed and challenged. Thank you all to the ITRTs and instructional coaches and all of you with various titles who support learning and support the integration of the models. We celebrate you and thank you. Thank you to administrators who are supporting the teachers and support staff in their buildings.
So it looks like we're at the last minute, I believe. And so I think we need to wrap things up. And we again want to thank you so very much for joining our session. And please remember that we at DOE are here to support you in any way we can. If you take a minute or two in the next couple of days to answer that SurveyMonkey question, we really are interested in understanding what needs that you might have in the area of technology and virtual learning. So then we can tailor some solutions to help get some of that support that you need out there. So thank you. And Reggie, if you want to.
Thank you. Thank you again for joining us today. We appreciate it.
You did a wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you both. It was wonderful to have you. Again, if you want to continue a conversation about this, Discord is the place to be. Know that these recordings will be posted in a little while. We're going to work through the mechanics of that, but I believe they're all going to be linked out here inside of Sketch. So again, thank you, Meg. Thank you, Reggie. Thank you, Nikki, for being in here. And we hope that you all get some great lunch, and we will see you hopefully around the interwebs over the next couple of days. Have a wonderful
Enjoy the conference. Bye now.